Okay, so the next section in our 6.3 of Savitch C++ edition 10 is about how do we know where is the end of the file. So there is a marker at the end of the file, so the system knows the file has ended and the other stuff has started. So how do we do that? There is going to be a function member that we can use to find it, and it's called EOF, end of file marker. So we can check for that, and the way that's going to happen, this is a member function, it is a function, and it's going to return true or false. So if it finds the end of the file, it's going to be true. If it doesn't find it, or it's not end of the file, it's going to return false. So we can use it like this. So while or if it's not end of the file, we're going to do something about it. So this is a function that's going to return true or false. And of course, we generally use it with the while loop. So this is the way we can do it. So we can say, while not end of the file, do read and process whatever we have in this file. So this would be a good example for some of your assignments that you just gonna check it. So first, when you're using a while instead of do while, what you have to be sure is you read one before your while loop, you check it in the while loop, and your last statement is going to be another read. This is very important, and I want you to take a note and remember this. We're going to read before the while loop, we're going to check in the while loop, and we're going to check it at the end. Now, if I read a character and I check it for end of the file, and my file is empty, it doesn't do any processing. So something that you got to keep in mind, that's why we do it this way instead of the do while. And then if it's not empty, we're going to process whatever we need to do. And then we're going to read another one, and then we check it again. And if it's end of the file, then we're going to stop. So the EOF, again, is a member function. That's why we need a dot operator, and it has to be part of my in-stream variable that we created. So that's an object that has the class in it, that has all the functions available. So I don't have to write this function, it's available to me. I'm just going to use it with the dot operator. So we're going to go through the whole file, reading one character at a time. And if it ends to the end of the file, then we're going to stop. So when do we use the extraction operator? When do you use the EOF? Any idea, anything in your mind? When do we use in stream extraction operator? When do we use in stream .EOF? Anything? So the general rule is if we have reading one character at a time. So in general, if we are reading one character at a time, we want to use this one. If we are using a string or number, we're going to use the other one. So if I'm using one character at a time, I'm going to use the EOF. If I'm reading a number or a string, then I'm going to be using the extraction operator because it's going to skip over spaces. I don't want to worry about spaces. I don't want to worry about \n. So there is an example, 6.8 in your book that I want you to take a look at it. We quickly go over it and how it works. So again, I want to emphasize that whenever you have a function, first of all, your function declaration is going to be on the top. I have been mentioning this so many times, and I still have some students writing the definition on the top. So function declaration on the top with the comments explaining what is this function doing, what is coming into it, what is coming out of it. I ask you guys to create functions for this and function for this, so you can export it to other programs that you're using. So this is important. We need to pay attention to this. How do we go through the file? We're going to read one character. We're going to check to see if it's not EOF. We process it, whatever processing we need to do, and then we're going to be reading it again. Now, when you pay attention to this part over here, it's looking for C. If it's C, it's going to do something. If it's not C, it's just going to write it to the string. It's going to write it to the output. So if it's this one, I'm going to do something. If it's not, I'm going to do this. And then, of course, at the end, I have to read the next one, going back up, checking to see sure it's not the end of the file. And then I do my processing over here again. So this would be my processing section of my file. At this time, what we're doing is we are reading, processing, and writing at the same time. So our input, processing, and output is kind of mixed up together. We will learn how to fix that in next chapter or so. So right now, that's the only way we can do these things, but that does not give us excuse not to have functions. We have some character functions. I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to come back to this character function to make the video a little shorter. So I'm going to stop right here.